Greetings, everybody. Bill O'Leary, coming to you live. And I'm going to be talking about an estate planning topic because that's what I do for a living. I'm an estate planning attorney, probate and elder law with Legacy Planning Law Group located in Jacksonville, Florida. And this talk, it's what I do every week. I go live, part of our weekly Thirsty Thursday series that I'm talking about. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, I think you've come to the right place. So the topic I want to talk about today relates to a problem that happens all the time, unfortunately. Don't forget to fund your revocable trust. So revocable trust, for those that may not know, very popular, useful estate planning tools. They're done all the time, especially in probate in Florida, because we're sort of known as a probate state. But the trust is not going to be effective if you don't actually put your assets into the trust, or otherwise what's called align your assets with your trust. So revocable trust, also known as living trust, they're a really good, really effective way to avoid the long delays and exorbitant costs at times of probate, the probate process. And I tell you, sparing your loved ones from having to go through the probate court, it's just a great gift for them because things will go smoothly, quickly, and easily to them after you pass away, unlike what your family might experience in probate. Now, revocable trust, they also provide a great way for someone to manage your assets for you, let's say if you become incapacitated. In addition, very important, revocable trusts are a great way to protect your child's inheritance after you're gone. And so let's say for a minor child or children, great way to make sure that the kids are kept out of the guardianship court. And let's say for an adult child who, let's say, is financially irresponsible, maybe they have an addiction problem, not good with money, let's say a trust there is a great way to protect their inheritance so they don't blow it. And what about for the adult child who is financially responsible? A trust is a great way to protect their inheritance too. Protect from who? Protect from the two biggest risks that any responsible adult child has: losing their inheritance and leaving sort of the family bloodline. One, as much as you hope and pray that your child gets a divorce and now half of it goes to the ex-spouse, or think number two, a liability situation, like they get into a car accident, it's their fault, and here comes the injured driver that might take all of it. So a lot of parents of financially responsible adult children, they want to protect the kids' inheritance and sort of keep it in, we call it the family bloodline. And what's great is this bloodline protection that you can build for your kids, you can do it in a way that your kids can still be in control of their own inheritance. Your kids can still be in control of their own trust as their own trustee. Now, with all those benefits I've just laid out, that's all well and good, but you're not going to get those benefits, meaning you're not going to take advantage of those sort of benefits that a trust offers if you don't put your assets into the trust. It's what's sometimes referred to as funding a trust. If you don't fund your trust, your assets may have to go through a lengthy and costly probate process, which, of course, that's precisely what you're trying to avoid by doing the trust to begin with. And, by the way, if you don't fund your trust, your assets could end up being distributed to beneficiaries that you don't intend. You've lost control. So not funding your trust can undermine your whole estate plan. Now, to transfer your assets to the trust, let's say real estate, maybe bank accounts, investment accounts, that sort of thing, you need to actually retitle the assets into the name of the trust. So let's talk about real estate. To put real estate into a trust, you need a deed. A new deed would have to be drawn up, and the deed would show your trust then as owning the real estate. Not a big deal, because you would still control the property as the trustee. What about bank accounts or investment accounts? Well, the new name under the account would, after it's retitled, would say something like this: John Smith, as trustee of the John Smith Revocable Trust, dated blank, whatever it is. By the way, depending on the institution, and they vary, you might be able to change the name on an existing account and keep that existing account open. Some other institutions might force you, just as a heads up, might force you to open up a new account into the name of the trust and then transfer the funds from the old account that was in your own name into the new account that is in the trust name. Also, all financial institutions, regardless of whether they make you open a new account or not, are going to require something from you called a certificate of trust, a short little document that provides proof that your trust is in place and it's valid. We do those all the time. Now, there are some assets you just don't put into a revocable trust, things like life insurance, annuities, and retirement accounts like IRAs and 401ks. Those assets are kept outside of the trust for different reasons. Um, but here we at Legacy Planning Law Group, just because those assets don't go into the trust doesn't mean we ignore them. We account for them, okay? They need to be fully addressed as part of a comprehensive good estate plan. When we work with clients, we look carefully at beneficiary designations, which these types of assets carry. Again, life insurance, annuities, retirement accounts. And beneficiary designations are simple ways for you as the owner of the insurance policy, the annuity contract, the retirement account, you're able to name a beneficiary to receive those funds after you pass away. Well, a lot of times we will recommend to a client that they designate not an individual person as a beneficiary, but instead designate their trust as a beneficiary. I don't have time to go into the reasons why, but there are great reasons to designate a trust as a beneficiary. And so, since we help clients really plan for all of their assets, assets that are both put into a trust as well as assets that are kept outside for different reasons, we here like to call this part of the process asset alignment. Okay. Some people call it funding a trust. We prefer the more comprehensive, sort of more holistic term, asset alignment, because that includes assets you put into a trust as well as assets you keep outside, but you align through the beneficiary designation to have it paid into the trust. So, bottom line, we help you align all of your assets, not, again, just those retitled to the trust. One last thing. Aligning your assets with your trust, it's not a one-time thing. You shouldn't, set it and forget it. Why? Well, you might acquire new assets down the road after completing your estate planning. Think of the new bank account that you open up in the future. Good planning requires continuous attention, and you, frankly, should review everything, every year, maybe every other year. Why? To make sure your plan will work as you intend at that unknown time in the future, which is when you pass away or become incapacitated. Again, you don't know when that's going to happen. So you want your trust to work and to be buttoned up the way it's supposed to. If you'd like to know a little bit more about funding your trust, aligning your assets with the trust, and maybe how we can help, we would invite you to schedule a free 15-minute discovery phone call, chance for us to get the conversation started. Scheduling is easy. If you're seeing this video on Facebook, just go to our website, Legacy Planning Law Group, click on the Book Your Free Call button, pick the day and time that works for you. If maybe you're seeing this video on YouTube, well, there is a pop-up appearing now at the bottom of this video. Click on it. It's a clickable link, takes you to our booking calendar. By the way, that discovery call is complimentary. If you've enjoyed this video, like it, share it, and go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. A lot of great content. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk about not forgetting to fund your revocable trust. I'm going to give another talk next Thursday at about the same time. Again, part of our Thirsty Thursday series. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, we will quench your thirst. Bill O'Leary, I'm going to sign off for now. Go make it a great day. And if you can, make it a better world.